Am I the asshole for not letting my sister have custody of her bio kids, who I adopted? When my sister, Annie, was 18, and I was 21, she got pregnant and had a daughter, Sophie. She developed what we believe was postpartum depression, but was never diagnosed as she refused therapy. When Annie's school started up again, our mother took on all childcare of Sophie. As Mum took on more childcare, Annie seemed more like her old self, happy, outgoing, generally mentally healthy. Then within 6 months of Sophie's birth, Annie got pregnant again with another girl, Laura, and the cycle of PPD symptoms, Mum taking over, and Annie's mood improving repeated. When Laura was 2 and Sophie was 3, Annie decided to move out of our parents' home, alone, and said she wanted our parents to raise her daughters. They said no. Annie said she couldn't take care of the girls as she had her own life and being a parent made her miserable. My husband and I already had 4 kids of our own, we'd bonded with the girls, and we had the resources for 2 more, so we offered to take them in, and Annie let us legally adopt them before moving about 8 hours away. It's been about 5 years, and the kids are doing well. It was a rough start, but we're now a stable, loving, healthy family unit. Sophie and Laura are 7 and 8, and Annie has recently lost her job and had to move back in with our parents. Annie has now asked for custody of Sophie and Laura. I'm writing custody like that because it wouldn't be custody in the legal sense, as she willingly surrendered all legal rights to the girls and can't get them back, we checked with a lawyer. However, Annie wants the girls to live with her. Initially she said she wanted them full-time and to legally adopt them back from us, which we obviously refused. Then she offered a compromise of alternate weeks, so 50-50, custody. Again, we refused. Given her insistence, we don't even want her around Sophie and Laura, so we've not been going by my parents' house as we typically do. It's been a month of constant badgering, insisting we let Annie bond with her daughters, and allow her to at the very least take them for overnight visits, saying that Annie had PPD 5 years ago, and now she's ready to be a parent. I've responded that we are not babysitters, we are Sophie and Laura's parents, they're in a good place and this will be detrimental to all 6 kids, and Annie doesn't get to step in now when she never stepped up in the first place. The response from my parents and Annie is that I'm being unsympathetic to her PPD and I should let her at least have a chance, rather than deem her unfit without giving her a chance to prove herself. Plus, given that we already have 4 kids other than Sophie and Laura could probably do with a smaller household, and saying we're being unreasonable for not allowing Annie to bond with her kids.
Not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole, not the asshole, and please stand your ground. You have provided those 2 little girls with a stable, loving family for the last 5 years. You are genuinely the only true mom and dad they've ever experienced, and it is so unfair of your sister and parents to expect you to relinquish custody of your daughters whom you have raised without any support or help from Annie. PPD is totally possible, but even with PPD, had Annie adopted the children outside of your family, not only would she have absolutely zero custodial rights to them, but she wouldn't even know them whatsoever. Being a parent is not something to get to be wishy-washy about.
Not the asshole. You're the parents. She's bored and looking to do a little fun bonding. Protect your kids. She's an aunt at the table at Christmas, by her own choices.
No way. You're not the asshole at all. Those girls already started their life off with a parent that wasn't present mentally and basically gave them up. They don't deserve to have their life be uprooted again with someone so unpredictable. That's just my opinion. Parents that step in and out of their children's lives are the worst.
Not the asshole at all. She gave up her rights. She wasn't interested at all for 5 years. Doesn't seem like she was much interested before that. It would be a terrible thing for the kids to be uprooted from their home environment and their siblings again, particularly with the chance that Annie will rediscover that having children requires time and effort and that being a parent makes her miserable all over again. You are doing the right thing to protect your kids from your flaky sister. Your parents also aren't the girls' parents, they don't get a say. They enabled Annie and declined to keep the girls themselves, they need to keep their opinions to themselves. Annie is no longer the person that matters, Sophie and Laura do, and that kind of back and forth does not sound like a good idea. Not the asshole. PPD my ass. Not wanting to be a parent is not PPD, it's selfish lazy-ass teenager. The children do not need this type of upheaval in their lives. She can have a relationship with them when they turn 18 if that's what they want. Not the asshole. Those girls are not her children. They are your children, and they are part of a larger family in which they sound to be thriving. You make the decisions for your children. Their aunt's sudden desire to bond and take on a parental role is not indicative of a relationship with reality.
So wait, she lost her job and had to move back in with her parents, but she thinks now she should be allowed to raise these kids. How the heck would that work? She's in no better a position now to raise them than she was 5 years ago, and you can't just give up your kids until it's convenient for you to raise them again. Sure, let her have a relationship with them, eventually, assuming she calms down about wanting them back and she's able to fill a more aunt-like role, but these kids are a part of a family now and it's not fair to anyone to remove them from that, especially the girls. What are your parents even thinking supporting this? And obviously, not the asshole.
Not the asshole. She gave up all rights to the kids. You could let her visit them as a favor, but ultimately Sophie and Laura are your kids now. Annie left them when it mattered most. For 5 years. If this were an open adoption where you weren't related to Annie, everyone would be horrified by this behavior. Being family doesn't give you a pass to be an R.
Not the asshole. They are your kids. Were it me, I would give my sister the chance to be a loving and involved aunt, which is her role, with the understanding that she is not to undermine my authority role as a parent, or the kids will not be allowed to spend time with her. Until the kids are old enough to make their own decision about this, you have to do what is best for them.
Damn, a 5-year PPD episode. No, they are your kids. Way to step up and continue the good job.
Not the asshole. I'd be very suspicious about why she suddenly wants them back. She's out of work. Is there any way that she could have a financial incentive, even if she's not the legal parent? Would she expect you and YPUR parents to keep giving her money for the girls?
Not the asshole. As you said, adoption isn't some temporary thing, it's permanent. You're their parents, the only parents they've truly known, and you can't just rehome them back to their biological mother without causing lasting damage. Frankly, the fact that she expects that shows how unprepared she is to be a mother, as that is incredibly selfish. If she didn't have the wrong attitude, one that will hurt the kids, then I can see how it may be good for them to get to know her through supervised visits. But because she insists on being a parent, I think you're doing the best you can for them by keeping your distance for now.
In the entire time you have had the kids, has Annie ever asked about them? Asked if they were doing okay? Does she know their favorite colors? Their favorite foods? Books they like? Things they're interested in? Does she care about the kids? Or does she just care about herself having them? Let her badger you. If she really cared about those children, she would want to make sure they are happy regardless of who they are with.
No, those kids need stability, and they should definitely not be living with the woman who before decided she didn't want them anymore. Annie had PPD 5 years ago, and now she's ready to be a parent. Not the asshole. Good for her. She gave up all legal rights to be a parent. You don't have 4 kids. You have 6. Let Annie know if she keeps up the badgering, you'll get the courts involved and a restraining order.
Without giving her a chance. What do you call 2 births in 5 years? Every goddamn day was a chance. She's had nearly 2,000 chances. If she really wanted to be a mother, she would have been. She is expecting undue sympathy. You would only hurt those children by letting her step back into their lives. Abandonment issues are real and severe.
Not the asshole, but you had 6 kids by the time you were 24. Mad props.
Not the asshole. They are not her kids. They are yours and your husband's kids. You and your husband are their parents. She is the birth mother, the end. She had her chance. She never step up. Your parents were taking caring of Sophie and Laura until she decided to skip town. She willingly gave up her children.
Not the asshole. You've done something amazing and you definitely need to stand your ground. Question though, is she even trying to get to know them, meet them, etc., or did she just rock up like, "Hi, I'm back and I here to take them back"?
Not the asshole. You are the girls' parents. She is their aunt. She needs to understand that she can have a loving relationship with them as her nieces.
Info. Have you asked the girls what they want? Do they know that Annie is their biological mother?
NTA I would tell them that they are your children and you will decide what is best for them, and if they keep this up they won't even be grandparents or aunt to any of your 6 kids.
Not the asshole. Your sister isn't thinking about how this will affect the girls and how bad it would be for them to be just handed back to someone that walked out on them. PPD is a serious thing, but she was using it as an excuse to get out of parenting. She made the choice to give up those girls fully. She had no intention of taking them back either until she got bored at home. Not the asshole. How much worse for the girls for them to see Annie and then she dumps them again to move on with the next thing in her life. Annie chose to give up the girls and now has to live with the decision. Not the asshole. Your parents are so concerned for their poor little daughter, but where is their concern for the trauma she has and inevitably will inflict on their granddaughters? Although not my sister, we have this exact experience. Our must-was biomom had to pass a drug test before she could come over to our home to visit. That never happened. Both biomom and dad have odded in the past 3 years.
Not the asshole. How does she plan on feeding the children? Or is the plan still to mooch off your parents? What happens when she gets a job?
Damn Weasleys. Calm down with 6 kids. Not the asshole in any way.
Not the asshole. Rather than deem her unfit without giving her a chance to prove herself. She had a chance. 2 chances, actually. She blew that chance when she chose to give her daughters up rather than get therapy. It's not about being fair to Annie, it's about what's best for the kids. They deserve someone who is thinking about what's best for them, not what's best for Annie.
Not the asshole. But damn, you had 4 kids already by 24. Phew. SHES bored and not equipped to be what those girls need to be healthy and well-rounded adults. They won't regret your choice to protect them when they reach adulthood and their mom is still acting like a child. NTA.
Not the asshole. She didn't want to give up her wild lifestyle and thinks just because time has passed and it's out of her system she can just come take her kids that she all but abandoned 5 years ago. Don't do it. Like you said, they have made a family with you and their removal won't just affect them but your bio kids as well. She doesn't deserve to have them back. If she really cared about them she would visit and make an effort not to overstep boundaries. Don't listen to your parents either, because if you hadn't stepped up they would be in foster care and no one would know anything about them.
Not the asshole. Your daughters are just that, your daughters. Don't allow her to manipulate her way into their lives, no matter how stable she is their aunt, not their mother. She doesn't have parental rights to them for a reason.
Not the asshole. Your daughters need stability, not a flight risk mother who has only decided she wants to have them around now that she lost her job and was forced to move back in with your parents. Letting Annie visit them is one thing, but their lives absolutely should not be shuffled up just because Annie changed her mind again. Especially not if both daughters have zero interest in being torn away from their parents and siblings.
Not the asshole. My response would be, go FK yourself, Annie. But she's your sister, so I'm sure you've better words for her than I. You and your husband put in the time, emotional effort, and money to raise these kids. They are not toys. They are not shiny little baubles that she can put on a shelf and then come back 5 years later to pick up and play with. While mental health is an important topic, she was of sound mind when she asked your parents to adopt them. Did she really think that she could just waltz back into their lives and get them back? The entitlement of her is astounding. Not the asshole. So, how do you feel about going no contact with your parents if they don't stop trying to make you cave to your sister?
Not the asshole. No. Just, no. She doesn't get to pawn off her kids to others for their entire lives, even before you adopted them, then suddenly decide she wants them back because she suddenly doesn't have anything better to do now that she doesn't have a job and lives with your parents again? That's not even factoring in how that would affect the girls. Who knows how long until your sister changes her mind again and doesn't want anything to do with the girls, again. The girls deserve better. You also know that there is a chance that she will try to undermine you as parents. I'm your real mom so you don't have to listen to her, which will mess with their heads, and you parenting them. So to reiterate, no, you are not the asshole for not letting her have custody.
Not the asshole. Please protect your girls and your family from Annie's tremendous irresponsibility and selfishness. Decisions have consequences. Kids are not toys to exchange back and forth. Time for Annie to become an adult and to think of someone other than herself for once in her life. If she wants kids, she is welcome to get a job, build a home of her own and get pregnant or adopt herself.
Lost my job I have, need child benefits I do. Not the asshole and just cut her off. It will be very upsetting for the kids. Best case they always wonder why their bio mum didn't want them.
Not the asshole but info. What is Annie's excuse for abandoning her daughters, saying parenting made her miserable, only to do a supposed 180 like a decade later? Not the asshole but you were married with 4 kids at 24 or 25.
I have been in this position. Only I wasn't as smart as you and I did let my husband's sister, our 2 nieces' mom, back into our lives and theirs. And it was extremely detrimental to the kids' mental health. Especially since history repeated itself and she left again. We have them in therapy now and are trying to rebuild their sense of normalcy in day-to-day life. Trust me, stand your ground, don't do it. Not the asshole at all.
Not the asshole. It's not clear that Annie got treated for PPD. Also, could this just be your parents guilting her into seeing her bio kids? Or would give your parents more quality time with these 2 kids? Or allows your parents to pretend both of their kids, you and your sister, are adulting successfully and they did right by you too.
Not the asshole and do not let her near those kids. I would send a certified letter tomorrow, stating if she shows up it is trespassing and she will be arrested. Take a copy of that and the receipt to the police. Make sure any schools, babysitters, etc., know what your sister looks like and that if she comes near them to call the police. Don't wait for her to get more aggressive. She has no right to do this and it is so selfish. She cares nothing about what is best for those kids. If she shows up, don't open the door or engage with her and call the police.
I have adopted 2 children. They are very much my kids and I'm their mom. I'm not a placeholder or a temp fix until their bio mom gets her shit together. We didn't all stop our lives to wait for her when she started doing drugs, we continued living. Your sister is being selfish. She should have contact with the kids, for their mental health, but to demand custody of kids who've been adopted is absurd. You're not the asshole and I'm sorry that your sister and parents don't have more respect for your family.
Not the asshole. It's not that she is unfit, which she may well be, but that doesn't even matter. Even if she is perfectly fit to be a parent, she isn't their parent. You are, and you need to do whatever you think is best for your children. Absolutely not the asshole.
Not the asshole. These are children, not dolls for your sister to put down and pick up when it's convenient.
Not the asshole. Annie can't choose to be a parent only when it suits her. I agree that this will be detrimental to the girls. What to say that you let them see Annie? Annie becomes overwhelmed again and bolts. That would do a lot of harm to the girls. There's a lot of risk for very little reward. Annie made her decisions and now has to live with the consequences of them. You are those girls' parents. Legally and morally, you get to make the final decision on this.
Not the asshole. Listen, if you weren't family, this wouldn't be happening. She lost her right to call them her kids when she gave up legal parenting rights. Actions have consequences. You're not punishing her for having PPD, you're taking care of your kids, and enduring their mental health. All she had to do was get treatment. But she chose not to. That's her choice, but you're right, she doesn't get to wait until the hard stuff is over, then decide to step in again.
Not the asshole. She's unemployed and living with her parents as a grown woman. How does any of that suggest adding 2 children to the mix would benefit her or them?